My take on what is it? Content
Oh,
creation?
yeah, I mean, look, the last couple of years, it's no secret that AI is becoming more and more of a thing. It's pretty much everywhere you look. I mean, I'm curious from someone who does YouTube videos all the time, how do you feel about it?
That is interesting because um I have a new insight that I just got like 2 seconds ago when I was scrambling to figure out a thumbnail for this video. When I went to
New
YouTube,
insight.
I mean when I went to Google, I typed in like thumbnail generate AI generation to see if I
Right.
could get something quickly for this. And what came there was a website that the thumbnail that we have right now, it was not exactly generated by AI, but it like had an idea. But what it did was I typed in a prompt and then it didn't generate a photo or anything. I don't think it generated a photo, but it had a photo there and some text and stuff like based on the text that I entered. So it entered the text for me like as a title.
Mm.
And then I was just thinking like that could be a way to improve how AI generates thumbnails because in other ways that are like free to generate thumbnails, sometimes the images are really weird. And I'm sure you've seen those weird like images where people have like hands coming out of their arms and like
Yeah, they've got like an elbow in their neck or
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I was just thinking like what if it would be great if you type in a prompt and it uses existing stuff in the world, like existing images and things, to put together something instead of like generating its own photo.
Right. So this is like more the positive aspect of AI.
Yeah, the positive, it
Right.
like helps you speed up your workflow if you, because like technically I guess an AI could be sitting here, quote unquote sitting here and talking to you instead of me, but it's not there yet to do that. I think. Will it be there
But
yet?
how long do you think it will be before all of this is kind of irrelevant and we need, we don't need humans basically for anything. What do we need humans for if AI is taking over the creative spaces?
Yeah. What do we need?
I
That's
mean,
the most annoying thing. Like, why is it taking over the creative stuff?
well, it's kind of crazy to me because when I thought of AI, my brain went to, okay, great, it's going to take over all the crappy jobs, the manual labor stuff that nobody wants to do. It's dangerous, things are heavy. But creativity was always the fun place to be as a human. It's where you get to express yourself. But it's like we've got it backwards, and we're starting with technology taking over the creative space. Like why is it set up backwards in that way? Why aren't we focusing more on, you know, I guess they do drive trucks. We've got
Yeah, I wouldn't
robots
say it's backwards,
in.
right? It's not. It used to be maybe more backwards, but now like we have that Boston Dynamics company.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
they've got those things, and then Elon Musk's one is like a bot that does like daily tasks for you and stuff like that.
Right, right, right. It's
So
catching up
it's
for sure.
yeah. So I think maybe they just had to kind of start online with simple stuff that's digital, then work its way into the real world. I'm
Yeah,
assuming that's kind of what happened, and then maybe like obviously it's gonna improve, but maybe it won't actually take over this stuff because people still want to see real people.
that's the thing. Like, I'm not convinced anymore that that's the case. When you have influencers on Instagram that are AI, I mean, it doesn't give me that much confidence that anyone wants to see a real human being. They just want
Well,
entertainment.
but I think in terms of interaction, I feel like people still would prefer a real person. Like taking in content is one thing, but talking to something is another thing. Wouldn't you agree? Like, would you like? I don't know. If you knew you were talking to an AI, but it could talk exactly like me, would you still talk to it, or would you prefer talking to me?
That's a good question. I guess it depends what it says. Just agrees with everything I'm saying and
Like,
gives me everything I want.
yeah,
I don't know. I
that
guess it depends how selfish you are.
it just crossed my mind. Like, what if we eventually take people's personalities and put them into an AI? Like, like that people have passed away. Like, you pull their essence, not their essence, so you know what I mean, like their personality, like all their traits and stuff. Like you
Yeah, that's
document it.
essence, right?
I
That's
guess
like
the
the
essence of
soul
the
or whatever.
person, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine what if that went into like an AI so you could chat to it anytime you wanted and it would be like talking to your.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was a Black Mirror episode, maybe the first or
Oh,
second
maybe.
season.
I can see
And
it being one of those.
they had like a program where you download all of your loved ones' messages and videos, whatever you have, and it will over time it just got better and better, and then to the point where it was like you couldn't really distinguish whether or not it was real, it was really them,
Yeah.
and it was
Oh yeah.
confusing. It's emotionally confusing because
Yeah.
you think, well, it's so close.
Like it is their personality. You
Yeah,
can't.
it,
There's no way to distinguish really that, to be honest, because if it is their personality, you can't. What is? That's it. It is them. It's how they would do things or how they would act.
yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, at the end of the episode, they went as far as giving it a robot body, which looked exactly like the dead
The dead
guy,
person.
and it yeah, the dead person. And I mean, at that point, what are you talking to? Generally, what
Yeah.
is what is it? Is it them or is it not? Is it does it have a soul? What I don't
Yeah.
understand what it
I
is.
think.
I think
Oh
your
man,
brain just
that
broke.
yeah. It's like you. Yeah. You can't. I started to freak out kind of in my head. Like I don't think I thought about that in depth before. But it's kind of crazy if you like just take the end of their life and start it in the AI life or
Yeah.
whatever. But I like you it wouldn't be them because they wouldn't.
Wouldn't what?
Oh. Well, okay, I get
That's a
okay,
scary
let's
thing.
we need to break this down because I feel like when you if you did that, let's say you did that, then the start of the AI, if it was like an identical copy of their personality or whatever, I guess in terms of reactions, they would be the same, right? Like, would they be the same exactly in everything? Like, they would
Well,
react the same to things. They would chat about the things the exact same way.
yeah, in this scenario, the show and the episode, it took the bare bones conversations, like all the text messages, so it even got the speech pattern the same.
Oh yeah,
So it took that and then it just sort of iterated on that. So every time it wasn't exactly correct, it would make an adjustment. The same way the AI does today, where you if you type in something and it doesn't get it right, you tell it, no, no, more like this, and it will adjust. And if you just keep doing that, it gets to the point where you can't really tell anymore.
hmm,
And then also, human beings make mistakes all the time. We're constantly trying out little, iterations on our personality, like, trying out a new word that we never use,
yeah.
a new style of dressing or something. So we're constantly evolving. So if it starts to make choices for itself, I mean, you could say, no, no, that's not how Jerry would act. But it's like, you don't know. Maybe Jerry would eventually act that way.
Yeah, I guess. But also, what if when it's transferred that there's parameters to not leave that personality?
Then you're limiting what what that personality is, which isn't human. We're not limited by
True,
that.
but doesn't but everyone like well, do you know anyone that's like properly changed their personality?
Yeah, I would say that
Like
when,
significantly?
well, I mean, maybe not.
Like cuz I feel like
Hmm.
even if you try out new things, you band back to the same person that you grew up as.
At the core of who
Yeah.
you are.
There's like a core of who you are and you can't change that, I think. Cuz you have
Okay.
all your experiences and stuff and it's not like you just can randomly be, you know,
Hmm.
unless your brain just cracks some traumatic event that could do it, I suppose.
That's true. That does happen. I mean, people go through really bad brain injuries, and it does change how they talk. They're more erratic. But
Yeah, but if you didn't
I,
have one of those, then you'd be more like stable, I think.
yeah, I
Like
mean,
generally, like yeah, you can make different choices and stuff. Like you could be like using different words and like follow the trends of like today or whatever. But you'd still be the same person at the core. So like you'd you'd laugh at the same things. For example, it's not like they would be experimenting, for example, like laughing at something that they would never laugh at because you wouldn't find it funny. You wouldn't like necessarily just change your humor, right?
right, it wouldn't go so far as to completely demolish everything about the person that you've uploaded. I think it would just take small changes, small choices that, whether or not they walk a certain way or whether or not they dress a certain way, the type of job they might want to do. They might decide, look, that was an all right decision for the original Jerry, but
Hmm.
the new Jerry wants to do, I don't know, painting or something. And it's like, you can't really tell it that that's wrong because what if you let the real Jerry continue on to life and then at 40 years old he goes, well, yeah, maybe painting. So it's like maybe the AI figures out the essence of Jerry and the secret desires that Jerry always had, and you just never knew about them. And everything
Yeah.
about them is Jerry.
That makes me think, what if they did this to someone at like 30 or 40 to see if it went on the same trajectory as the real person? That would be very
Yeah.
interesting. Surely they're going to do that at some point. Like clone someone's personality, put it into an AI, or maybe someone's documenting themselves like at all times, and like every new line of code is like, that's part of me, that's part of my personality. Like, oh wait, I like birthday cake. He likes birthday cake.
Like the tiniest minute things that they're documenting every
mm,
single
yeah.
thing that could possibly like or dislike. Yeah.
Maybe an easier way to do that would be like use something like, for example, Elon's like Neuralink or whatever, and you could it would generate code based on your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean that could work. But in my opinion, I don't think
Could it
this
work?
is the healthiest. I mean, I don't know what's possible,
Yeah,
with all
same. I
this
don't know.
technology. But if I get real honest about it, I don't think this is all that productive for us to be doing as a species. I don't think we should be starting with
Yeah,
replacing or copying the personality of
yeah.
our loved ones. I
No,
that's the part I don't
it's
really understand.
yeah. I don't want it to happen. The copying thing. Oh,
I like the.
I'm yawning.
No, you need to get coffee, dude.
I ha-
Caffeine.
I have a coffee. Do I need another coffee? It's empty.
Do it like the Italians. Just do a shot. Um,
Uh, what was I gonna
what were we
say?
saying? I lost my train of thought.
I literally said the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Um,
No, I
Yeah,
wanted.
no, I like I was gonna say I think it's Japan, is it? Japan, that their idea of AI is more like a friend, like a little robot that follows you around.
Yeah,
And I always thought that was a much more positive direction to go in. Something that it's just an extension of us, but it
yeah,
doesn't replace us. But I
yeah,
think we're in this weird, murky area where it's like we just got the toys and we're just super excited about using them, but
yeah.
we don't understand that it's a gun and it's
Yeah,
not a
yeah, yeah. We
toy.
don't. It's a weapon
Like
or
where
like
where
a.
that kid it found it in their dad's drawer or something, and we're like, oh my god, this is so cool, right? We're psyched about all the benefits of it, like
It's like a
you know,
poison or something like
yeah.
that. Like
It's just
you don't
it's
notice
not
how bad it
quite.
is at first.
Yeah, it's like a toy, but it's evolving into a weapon that can essentially kill us,
Mm.
or a poison for later on. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with it, but I
Well, I
mean,
like I like the fact that it can quick like help you quickly with certain things, like summarizing an article or making a thumbnail. Like that is so helpful because like for situations exactly like this one where like we can't make a photo of each other, like we don't have I mean we could if we really tried, like we could, but it takes a lot of time. We like you would have to go outside, take a photo of yourself. I'd have to like cut it together and like make a title,
yeah,
like do the whole thing. But I just have to ask AI like make me a title. Can you make me a title? Make it for me, bitch.
make it.
Can you make me a title, please? Please.
Call
Please
it a
don't hurt
bitch and
me
then say
later.
please.
Please don't hurt me later
Yeah.
in the future, but please make me a title like a thumbnail that is based around this stuff, and then if it makes it like that makes my life so much easier to like cuz it's something that but it only makes your life here's the thing, it only makes your life easier on things that you want to do, right? Like okay,
Yeah.
my train of thought is kind of going like I don't need a thumbnail. I don't need one. We don't need we don't have to have it. We could just start recording and we don't have to be like, "Oh
Well,
shit, like everyone's going to care that we don't have a thumbnail. Oh fuck." But then you think like, "Well, I want one because it can improve the clickability of this video."
right. It's very good at a lot of the metrics.
Mm.
If you
Yeah.
think about the metrics of social media, it's very good at helping us sort of inch closer to better and better, um, more engaging content.
Yeah.
I do get that. It's very good at iterating, which is kind of the perfect thing for YouTube or an Instagram,
Yeah.
because for humans, especially when you're tired. Like I work as a graphic designer, and I know that part of my job is just thinking of every single way that you could possibly have this graphic or this visual. And then with AI, it kind of jumps in and goes, "Don't worry about it," and it will just do like 50. And a lot of them are maybe generic, maybe not so creative, but a lot of them are like, okay, that's pretty fucking good, and it's a little scary. Um,
Wait a second.
I mean,
Is that what you were showing me before? Like did AI make all those iterations of text and stuff for you?
which
For
text?
with the job that you had, like the gummies thing? Was that all AI ideas?
No, no.
Oh, you did that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, no, usually where I use AI is just to
Everywhere.
my whole life. Um, it's usually with just text because I find like when you're under the pump, you need a tagline or something written. It's
Oh
very
yeah.
good at advertising. It's very good at like finding the most punchy, sort of engaging bit of copy of written text.
Hmm.
and if you need it, like, okay, I need something in 30 minutes, like, for a human to do that, you've either got to be a genius or very like awake, or
Yeah.
just having the best day to get something great. But it does a lot of that sort of very mentally draining activity. It does it within a couple seconds, and you can
Mm.
use it like a writing partner, which is one of the positives, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but it does take away some of your own uh, agency when it comes to like thinking for yourself, thinking in that way that uh, you if you didn't have it, you would kind of start to struggle because you don't know how to think in that creative way anymore, right?
But
Like you
would you say that it like it dulls your creative side
I think it does.
then?
I think you're outsourcing your creativity, and then when it comes time to do it yourself, you have no opinions. If you do it for long enough, if you completely
Oh,
outsource the whole
yeah.
thing, um, I mean, anybody can say, "Oh, make it look better," or make it look, more smart or happy, or like, we can go around all day doing that. But I think we're losing the art of creativity.
So it's kind
It's,
of killing the the creative part of, well, some of the creativity in some things.
I think so. I mean, you look at Mr. Beast, and I mean, the most successful YouTuber I would imagine is he's just iterating all the time. Everything is just test, test, test. And AI is great at that. So, I mean, when you treat creativity like it's just a sweatshop of ideas, then I don't know, you start to lose something over time, I think.
I don't think Mr. Beast actually uses AI though.
Okay.
I'm
What
pretty
makes you say
sure.
that?
Well, because I was watching a video recent. I mean, maybe he does. It's not like I know everything about him, but it makes me. What makes me say that is I was watching a video recently. I don't know if it. I think it was like a year ago or something that the video was released, but this guy who's a YouTuber called Who's the Boss or who is the boss or something like that. He's like a mobile phone reviewer, tech stuff reviewer.
I
He
know some of them, yeah.
Yeah, he did a tour. He wanted to do a tour of Mr. Beast's like whole setup, like his whole like warehouse thing where he does everything and stuff. And like they went into this one room, and then there was like Mr. Beast said something about how if you're like still buying whiteboards these days, like you're crazy. Get some of these pens because you can draw on the wall and it just comes straight off. And then Mr. Who's the boss, like the room was full of like stuff on the wall. I saw that in the back, and he's like, "Well, with my team, like we always have like these like digital stuff, like we type up like our ideas and everything, and like everyone has access to that, like on the digital cloud or whatever. Like, do you guys not do that?" And he's like, "No, no, no. We are like whiteboard people. We are wall drawers. Like we like the whole room had like drawings on it for like ideas and stuff." And they just like
Mm.
all draw out write out their idea on the thing, and then everyone comes is like, is this good? Or I guess they like judge it on the wall, not like
But
digitally.
the storyboarding process, right? Of making a video. So I understand that. I don't know of any programs, any AI programs that can do that, in an effective way. But
Yeah.
definitely, if you want to tag or some piece of text or even a visual, like you just want a flower. You want your product sitting next to a flower. It can do that now. Like I've
Hmm.
seen apps that do that. And writing is not really an issue for it. It can do that extremely well. So I would be surprised if Mr. Beast's team isn't at least using it for the copywriting aspect.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, they could be using it in some way. Perhaps not just not that way. It's just another way that they're using it.
Right, because they all enjoy the creative storyboarding and then filming.
Yeah.
So they're keeping those parts for themselves because it's fun. But you know, they produce so much content. I mean, I would be very impressed and surprised if um, they were doing it all just from their own heads. I mean, that's kind of crazy at this point. The amount of
Yeah,
videos.
true. And but also at the same time they have like a massive team,
Mm,
like including people that just do editing, just do I don't know if anyone else films on their team, but they like have people like they have like construction workers in there doing sets and stuff.
really?
Yeah, they like construction people, they got like editing people, they got like server people, they got all sorts of staff, all different types of staff. It's like a massive production system in there.
It
So,
seems, for based on what you just said, I mean, and some of the other stories I've heard, it does seem like it's really dependent on the company and their
mm,
values.
yeah.
At least in the short term. But there's like I heard just the other day that the job of the person for TV where they would do set decorations, make sure. Do you have a unique TV show, right? Like where you have, I don't know, like Is It Cake, for example. I don't know if you've seen that one, but the person who
Oh, I've seen you.
designs the set layout and all the creative little nuances that get stuck onto things, and whatever you see visually, there's a person doing all that. That's an actual job, is a set decorator.
Yeah.
And I was listening. I don't know if it's true. It's just, I'm a headline reader, right? So I saw a TikTok video of some guy explaining an article that he might have read. So take this with a grain of salt. But
You
this
might
guy
have
was
read
basically,
this.
yes, might have. Um, but essentially, the course that you can take to study this topic, the teachers have released an article saying we can't, in good conscience, uh, let you take this course. So because only 25% of our students are actually in the industry. So it's like they've noticed the graduates aren't even able to get a job after studying this topic because there's less and less jobs out there for it because I'm guessing it's outsourced to AI. So, I mean,
Uh,
that's pretty insane that a whole industry. I didn't know it existed, to be fair, that was a job, but it can happen to anyone. And think about it, like if you've got aspirations as a little kid of doing something like, I don't know, you're a makeup artist. I don't know, maybe that's a crazy one because it's kind of very personal, but I mean, say you want to write scripts for a movie, you want to be a writer. I mean, that's pretty easily replaced, is it not? And then that will
well,
become less and less of a job, and it won't be an opportunity for anyone anymore. And I mean, it will get to the point where everybody's either a salesman or they're just an AI operator.
mm, yeah. AI operator is becoming a job.
That would be a fucking job, man.
Like how, like they, like an AI writer. You know, like every job now, like writer, you're gonna become an AI writer. Like set designer, AI set designer.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be like typing, what should I put in the back of the set here?
And it'll be one person replacing like 15 people,
Yeah.
or like an entire floor, like a whole crew of people that used to do it. It'd just be one person generating prompts for the
Mm.
AI. So it'll become like very special position, but less and less people will be able to get it. So we'll all just be doing. If that's where I feel like the AI is in charge.
But do you have an
Eh,
example of where AI is really popular in terms of like, for example, YouTube?
in YouTube.
Like, like, is it? It's not. I don't think it's. Well,
Well, I
just my
think it's
opinion, I
the
guess. But I don't think it's surpassing real people right now.
no,
Or
not
it's.
right now, not right now. But I think it's slowly encroaching on everything around it.
like it's starting.
Yeah, because I think more and more people are using it like instead of outsourcing to some freelancer, they're gonna just go, well, fuck it, I can just generate it myself instead of dealing with this annoying person who doesn't reply. I mean, we all know that like freelancers at times are not the most reliable. Often you're working with someone overseas, they don't respond exactly when you need them to.
Yeah.
Sometimes the communication issues, all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of drama that goes on when you're trying to get things done over, freelance or something. But
Yeah.
I
So
could see
AI
a
could be
salesman
a
just
great freelancer.
yeah. And if it starts out slowly, but then eventually, it just keeps replacing more and more of the things just surrounding you, the YouTuber.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know what? That reminds me. Uh and this is actually okay, this is something that I actually like that AI can do, that it has done.
After positive.
Yeah, I think it's positive here.
Good, you need to
Um
balance it out because I go straight to the
yeah.
negative.
Yeah.
We're doomed.
At
We're gonna die.
the end of the job structure as we know it.
Yes.
Um so no, this guy, he I forget what video I was watching, but basically he needed like some images for something. It was maybe coding or something, I don't know. And but what he did was, cuz he couldn't draw, or like he didn't, either he couldn't or he didn't want to. But like for me, I imagine that I can draw all the time, but I can't. So I try, and then I'm like, "Ah, this is gonna be
Yeah.
amazing. This looks shit." That's what happens. And then, so this is something that I would totally love to use. Like, I have an idea in my head that I want it to be on the page, like so well drawn, but I don't want to pay someone to do it because it's like it's my idea, and I have to
Saying
deal with
that, dude,
someone else.
it's savage.
Huh? Yeah.
I don't want to pay someone.
No, well,
Like,
like, okay, if I wanted something like really, really good, or like a specific artist, then I would. But if I just wanted like a quick thing, like just to see what it could look like, but in some decent way, not just like a trash way that I can't draw,
hmm,
like trying myself, it just looks so bad, and then I like want to abandon the idea. I want to just get like a rough idea of something decent. So what I like this guy did, he's you can apparently draw roughly like what you want to see, or like what you would like an image to look like. Oh yeah, I remember. He was making a game. He was like trying to get assets for a game. So he would like try to like recreate Flappy Bird, actually. And so he had the, do you know Midjourney? The one on Discord?
yeah, I've heard of it. I
The
haven't
AI
used it.
generation image generator.
Yeah,
Um so you can put in like a rough sketch of what you want. He put in a rough sketch of like a duck, and then like some background like thing, and like just like roughly what he wanted, and some colors and stuff. And it came out with like a more fleshed out version of like the image that he wanted. And it was like a decent like thing with like proper lines in it, like if you draw like a pipe, it like had an actual pipe in there, versus like a stick thing drawing, and like had some colors and stuff to like give you an idea of like an actually decent thing, and you can just like chuck it in there. And plus it's
hmm,
unlicensed, so you can use that if you really wanted to. If you don't like, because if you don't have the skills to draw, then you could outsource that to like an AI. But if you like, it goes the other way as well. If you don't have the skills to code, you can already outsource that to AI. Pretty much, you can. And then
that
you can
yeah,
draw, like if you can draw, you need the coding side. But if you can code, you need the drawing side.
yeah. I mean, essentially, what it's doing is it's making it easier for people to just try out their ideas.
Yeah.
Without having to connect with anyone, without having to commit all that much to their idea, they can
Yeah.
just quickly do a little test of whatever,
Yeah.
whatever side you're sitting on, whether you are the illustrator or you're the coder, whatever thing you're lacking in that you don't have the skill set, you can just kind of test things out, and that's great. There are a lot of positives to it. The fact that you can just, you can get a pretty decent picture or bit of copy, bit of writing, or you can get some code that maybe works pretty well.
Yeah.
Um, it's all possible. It's very cool, honestly. I mean, we're living in the future. Let's be honest. It's pretty crazy that we can do these things, and like just a couple years ago, that wasn't really possible at all. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I'm guilty. I use it as well. I use a lot of this stuff. And now that you're describing that little illustration thing, I mean, I kind of feel like using it, but
Yeah.
I can picture all the artists in the world looking at this video, just screaming like, "How dare you! How dare you use this program? I spent my whole life training to draw, you idiot!" Like,
Yeah. Well,
I get it.
there's different, I don't know. I
It,
feel like
it's like they're out of a job now because you found like this little thing that you could just scribble on.
yeah, well, I think what's gonna have to happen is people are gonna have to start adapting, like in the sense that they should take advantage of AI, because like if other people are taking advantage of AI, then you need to be able to offer something else that you can do. Like for example, if you're, let's say you're an artist and AI is drawing everyone's art now, right? Then just like as a rough example, you need to think of something else you can provide that's not just art, that someone else, that AI can also help you with. So like let's, if we just take the coding example, like at that point you can make art for an app where you couldn't before. And then you can sell the app because the AI can make the coding part, you can make the art, and you're still distributing your art in some way. But it's a
I think
different method
that's
of how you want it to, because
yeah.
you can't, like people are not buying or hiring artists anymore because you can use AI to do it. So you need to sell your stuff in another way. Do you know what I mean?
I think we're losing. So I do get your point, and I'm always usually on the side of like you need to adjust, you need to adapt, get over it, learn to code. Like, like it's basically a big fuck you to anyone who's like losing their job. Um, and and I usually in the past I have been on the side of like, yeah, adjust, idiot. Like very savage point of view.
Yeah.
Um, I understand. You're enjoying the benefits of it and it works for you and that's great. I think we do need to take a step back as a species and realize that we are losing some uniqueness because look, I don't know how advanced this thing's going to get, but there's definitely art and creativity and things in the world that we have as a result of humans and human experience, and we value like the Mona Lisa. Like there's a reason why we care so much about the Mona Lisa. It's like if an AI did that, I think it inherently loses its value, right? It's because a human did it and it's so fucking difficult as a human to do something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're moving down this track where we're devaluing the skill set involved in creativity. And I know that it's gonna happen regardless, and just people like convenience. It's fine. I get it. I like convenience too, but just by accepting it, I think it's a really depressing and dangerous thought. I mean, if you carry it out over time, you won't even need to draw it yourself. You just go make me a comic book. Done.
Yeah.
Make it
Yeah.
like this. I mean, you just completely lose everything unique about it. Everything's average. Everything's boring. Everything's the same.
Yeah. True.
Like I know that it's a step forward, but
Cuz but okay, here's a question for you then. Because this is kind of what I guess other people are saying about it. I remember hearing about this. Like your creativity doesn't it just doesn't come from um the hand any oh well, it comes from the hand, but it doesn't come from your draw, like if it's an artist, doesn't come from your hand anymore. It comes from like your prompt. Like it's still your idea, but it's the way that you wrote it instead of the way that you drew it. Like isn't it still technically your idea if you
But
told
then
it to draw it exactly like that?
you're more of an art director in that case. And I don't know if that fulfills that
Well,
deep
if you can get
need.
like if you can get really specific in what you tell it to do, then wouldn't it still be your creativity then?
But how, okay, but in that case, how long is it before we don't even need that artist to prompt for anyone? Like, I imagine it would take all of, the next day for someone to go, fuck that. I don't need to pay someone to prompt for me. I can prompt. Like, it just seems like such a low bar for entry. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I don't see how
Well,
that's a replacement for an artist. I know that people need to adjust and figure things out, but it seems completely soul destroying. And I'm just trying to think through the perspective of someone who's an artist who've committed their life to learning the skill set. It's not just the skill set, I know that. It's the way they think as well. But it just seems so dystopian of just like you're gonna sit there and just think of prompts for this thing, and that's gonna be fulfilling for you as a person. It's gonna give you purpose. I don't see that as a fulfilling job for that type of
mm,
human being. Like their existence is just it's like data entry. Like who the hell wants that job? I know a lot of people have it, but like I don't see children going, I want to be a an AI expert when I grow up. Like they most people want to create the AI. They don't want to grow up to like play with the AI.
mm, yeah. I have more interest in creating an AI rather than using it
Right.
as
You
well.
you want to be on the other side of it. It's like it's fun watching it develop, but
Yeah, yeah,
the instant it becomes your colleague at work, it's like, what the fuck is this?
yeah. What the fuck is this? Um,
I
yeah,
know it's
that's
again it's negative, but it's I think it's worth saying because it's so easy to think of all the positives, especially for the people who haven't trained in all these things their whole lives. They're like, "Oh wow, finally I get a chance." It's like, yeah, but without this, you would have had to commit, a decade of your life to learning how to do something. And now everybody can just be an expert in everything. And everybody's got an opinion, so it's easy.
no, but okay. That's you make good points, but let me go back to the thing about
Turn me around. Show me
like
the light.
okay.
How can I
Okay,
see
so you're talking
the
about
obvious
people
positive?
who want to like who've been doing stuff their whole life, like they're not going to be able to do it anymore. Well, they can still do it. They just they just still like they can do the same thing as they were doing. It's just that maybe someone else it's almost like we're focusing solely on freelancers here with our ideas because if you if you're not a freelancer, you can still do everything that you train to do and it's not like it's going to like replace or remove salesmen or salespeople or like other jobs necessarily that like for example like a grocery store. Like maybe AI robots can do the work in the grocery store, but then if you think about it, that kind of frees up people to do stuff with AI. Like they can be I've okay, what I'm thinking about is like the possibility of everyone being more independent instead of relying on someone to having to work for because everyone knows that working for someone is shittier than working for yourself. It's always like that. It's always been like that. if AI, I feel like, not to like just say it's the most amazing thing ever, but I'm just saying I feel like the fact that it exists, the what it can do, it opens up the possibilities for more people to be more independent rather than relying on someone to hire them, or like, go through the whole like the system that
Yeah.
doesn't really work. You know what I mean?
I think in theory, I'll start off by saying yes. And that's the dream. I think everybody wants to become more independent, um, become more of a sole trader, and just do the thing they like to do, and earn money for themselves, not have to rely on a big company. It's the dream. Everybody, especially any introvert out there who doesn't want to go out of their house.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Don't have to leave the house and earn money. Great. Um, yeah, I get it. That's the ideal. I do think there's a massive learning curve to running a business, and for that to work out for everybody. And if everybody's doing that, I don't think it works. I don't think everybody. The problem is we like to look at the ideal situation and go, well, everybody can do that. It's just not the case. We need a lot of people doing a lot of different things for society to work. It doesn't play out very well if everybody's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay home and do what I want to do, and use AI. If we're all just in a cubicle at home, like
No, but if
doing
you're
that,
making money, you're still spending money.
yes, that's
And
true.
it's not like it's not like companies are going to go away. Like, for example, like even if robots are doing the job at the company, you're still going to buy food from the company. You know what I mean? Like, so you still need to
Yeah.
earn money. It's just not at the store doing it, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
And everyone's sort of still spreading the money around because they're like paying for your service. Like, you can still have a service. It's just maybe it's not the same service as you used to offer,
So
or you can work alongside the AI, as in like if let's say you're an artist, you could be you're just a different style than the AI can produce.
I don't imagine that it would ever be the case. A
Or
different
you're just or
style that,
you're just better
but
than the AI, not better, but
well, in my
just say you're
experience,
AI.
the people that run companies, generally speaking, they have a more of a business-minded salesman attitude towards things, and they do not value the the slight difference between this art and that art. They just see it as, oh, that's creative, cool. Let's go with that. They don't care about that sort of stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just the
Yeah,
way their
true.
mind works.
Yeah.
So to move ahead with this scenario of, well, the artist can offer this real special thing, and it can only get it from it just doesn't work that way. The salesman, or the business owner, is always going to go towards something that looks good enough, is way cheaper,
Uh,
or free. If it's
yeah.
free, fuck paying for any of that. I got to pay for all this other overhead. So I I just don't know in reality how that plays out, in a good way, in a positive way for everybody. I think what I see it happening is there's going to be a lot of businesses, but less and less staff that we need to operate them. And then everybody's homeless, and there's only like the 1%
Jeez.
kind of living in this utopia, kind of like Elysium. You know that movie
Yeah,
with,
yeah, yeah. I
like,
remember
where
that.
they're living up in the fucking sky in this
Yeah.
spaceship, and we're on the ground, and they're just pulling resources out of us. It's
Hmm.
just, any way I look at it, it's like the problem is the people that are in charge most of the time, they're not artists. Artists don't run the show. We just don't. We never have. It's the business people that run the
Yeah.
show, and they do not give a shit about you because they're not built that way. They have to be ruthless. So,
Yeah.
um, it's we
I
can talk
think
about fantasies, but I don't know.
yeah, the problem I think is the current system. That's why. Like we're thinking like
Capitalism,
there
yeah, it
has
doesn't
to,
work.
yeah, there has to be another system put in place if this is going to survive, and we're going to survive with this, because like what the hell is happening outside? There's like a plane just going endlessly.
Can't hear it.
Anyway, um, yeah, I don't know. Every time I hear that, I always think it's like going down, and then there's no
And
crash.
it crashes through your window.
Holy shit, that'd be so
You
scary. Oh
always
my
ignore
god.
it. I always hear the plane, same thing. You hear it go, "Meow." You never once you go outside and go, hang on.
Yeah, wait a second. What's that
Um,
noise?
but yeah, no, I agree with you. The positive utopian idea of us living alongside AI and robots in this harmonious, sprawling city of possibility. Yeah, that sounds great, and I wish that was the case. Um, I've just met too many of these businessmen and salesmen to know that th- they're kind of directing us, and it's a little scary, to be honest with you, when you don't have anyone at the front of the ship going, I don't know if that's best for humanity. There's
Mm,
always a positive. It's like, oh, that makes more money. That's great. But I think sometimes we need to reassess and go, look, money's great, but is this going to kill this really unique special thing that we have? And if you don't care about killing it, maybe you shouldn't be running the ship, even if you make lots of money.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
It,
we
it
could
it it
burn
doesn't
down the forest,
really
but
work in our society right now.
no, I
That's
think
the
it's a
problem.
dangerous thing to give to the. It's like we got this really cool technology right at the worst possible time. Like when
Yeah,
everybody in charge doesn't give a shit about humanity, really. They're very
yeah,
selfish.
yeah.
It's like we really needed this technology when we have, I don't know, someone else a little nicer.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I have a hopeful note to end
Alright,
us
end
on
it with
because
it.
we've been
Yeah, just
going
end
like
it.
on
Fuck me.
on almost an hour. So,
Yeah, positive. What do
this
we
is
got?
so I saw this thing the other day. I think it was last night actually, again. So a YouTuber, I think he had like 400,000 subscribers or something. He's Greek, he lives in Cyprus, and he got elected onto the political party by being himself. And he got the
What did
most votes out of anyone on the party on the like who were running for political. He got the most votes and he got elected.
so people could see through all the other
Yeah,
um
like
applicants?
yeah. Like and he spent $0 on advertising. And like all other politicians, they pay like massive amounts, like vote for me, like do this and like this guy, he went out to like billboards that had the politicians on them, and he'd be like, he'd criticize it, like, what are these people doing? Like, this is not real. Like, don't. Why would you vote for them? And then he like did a run across the country as well to show like he wanted everything united and hopeful for the future because their country is actually, Cyprus is actually divided right now with Turkish forces occupying one side and them free
Right.
on the other. And he did
Okay.
a run across that as well, live streamed the entire thing. And this guy, he got it, like he didn't expect it at all, but like all the people that watch him, they convinced their parents to vote for him, and he is now in the office.
I mean, that's what we need. We need more stories like that, honestly, because you know, that's a major positive thing, right?
Yeah,
And I think you can see this going back to, YouTube and social media and all that kind of stuff, right? It's um it's becoming more apparent to me that we appreciate that raw, honest human quality, and the more that we see just this, deluge of content and just, AI and all this stuff, we just got so much content. I think we're we're picking up on the unique, genuine people like that guy. He gives me
yeah,
hope, I think, because it's like, okay, at least as a species, we can still see what really matters. It's the human. It's
Yeah.
not the weird polish that we put on like the suit and the fucking
Yeah.
all the stuff that makes someone look like and like
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the sort of
Actually, it's funny you say that because he was literally wearing like a hoodie and shorts for the photo, like the
perfect,
professional photo, like for the
perfect. That,
candidacy.
yeah, I love that. It's just a dude being a dude, and like
Yeah.
people want to see that, man. Like we want to. That is, yeah, it's really uplifting to hear that. I mean, look, I even saw another example of this, maybe less inspirational, but have you watched the show The Circle before?
Mm, I've heard of it. I think I've seen it maybe once or twice. Is that the one with J- Will Smith's wife or whatever?
No, 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 no.
Oh.
That's I think that's Round
Oh,
Table or
that's
something.
a Red Room or whatever it is.
Red
Red,
River, so yeah,
yeah.
some weird show. Yeah, no,
Red
no.
Table,
This
something like
is
that.
yeah, it's not nothing like that. It's
That was the
so
circle.
basically this show, the concept was everybody staying like they get contestants in. They live in this big building, and everybody gets their own apartment, and the only way they get to interact with each other is through this app, kind of like it's like a social media app, right? Called The Circle, and they get to talk to each other, and I think it's limited to a certain amount of interactions. So you have to be real strategic about who you interact with, the connections you build. But the biggest part of this game that's kind of makes it weird is that some people come in and they're catfishes. They're intentionally catfishing people. So
Mm,
their profile
right.
picture, everything about them is fake. Uh, and who they actually are in real life is total opposite in some cases. Like they could be playing a woman and they're a man, right? It's that bizarre. But
Holy
in the
shit.
first,
Okay.
so it's really fun to watch. Like because people will fall for any kind of like story. They can make up, oh, my dad died. Oh wow, my dad died too. And they don't have a dead dad. Like it gets really savage. But
Oh my god.
what I
Okay.
what I really liked about it, and this is spoiler alert, anyone who hasn't seen it, turn off the thing now.
The
John, I'm
circle.
ruining. Yeah, I'm gonna ruin it for you, John. But yeah, I'm about to spoil the ending of season one. The person who won the first season was the most broish bro dude, just being himself, so genuine, taking every interaction as just positive and real, and not as like, oh, maybe I can slight this person, or stab this person in the back. He was just every bit of it was like him being a real nice person, and he won. And it was like I saw that and I thought that's that's what we need. More people just being real and
Yeah.
not trying to like get an advantage on somebody else.
Mm,
You know?
yep.
It's the same guy that you're talking about. He's running for office and it's just him.
Yep. He's out. He did it to like show that there's still hope for the future, and to like show to like give the he said that the people that voted for him, they gave everyone else a slap on the face through him, because it's like they're all serving themselves and not the people,
Yeah.
and you need
That's
to
it.
serve the people.
Yeah. I think yeah, in an ideal world we need just more good-hearted, kind people. Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Especially with
huh?
this AI stuff.
Yeah. I'm
But yeah, that's a
also
positive note.
yeah. Yeah, I'm also hoping Mr. Beast gets to run for president as well, at
Do you
some
really like
stage.
that dude? I find his face annoying. I've seen it on too many chocolate bars recently. He's probably a nice
No,
guy. I just
you know, I kind of thought that he would be annoying based on his face as well. I don't know why. I just
no. Oh
no
no.
offense, Mr. Beast, but
I know. I didn't. I wasn't saying he. His face is fine. He looks like a very handsome, nice guy. I'm sure he's got a lot of good qualities. Whatever. Um,
whatever.
it's just when you see something too much. Like, look, you're gonna hate me for saying this because I know you're a huge fan, but Taylor Swift. I mean, Jesus Christ, can we give it a break? I'm sick of seeing her on magazines, posters, TV. I get it, she's amazing, whatever, but like, I'm tired of it.
I
It's
haven't
these.
seen her on anything at all recently. I think I'm just in a rock right now, under a rock.
How are you not seeing her? She's on everything.
I
Everybody's talking
haven't.
about her.
No, I haven't looked at. I don't look at anything. I don't watch anything related to her. I just.
It's
I'm.
like,
The only thing I ever see maybe is something that Emmy shows me if she's on TikTok. I don't use. Well, I use TikTok now, sorta, but I don't really use it. I don't really scroll that much, to be honest, on anything. So
yeah,
I'm doing well in that regard for my
you're
health.
keeping to your
But
lane so you don't
yeah, keep.
see all the distractions.
Yeah. I'm trying to not be too distracted. Ever since I started creating a little bit on TikTok, I like when I open TikTok, I'm like, oh wait, can I scroll around on this? Like, I start to see stuff. Like, I start watching anything I see that has says part 1. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you fuck. Like,
Why? What's wrong with part one?
it's because like it's like shows you like a title, massive title, like this guy, this girl like slid to her death on the water slide, and then you like watch to the end. It's like nothing ever happens. It's like they just,
Oh,
and then
I
it's like
hate
part
that.
one. It's like, and there's no part 2 ever. Sometimes
No.
it's
What
like,
really annoys me is those videos, same concept, right? The part one, two, three, but it will have a sick animal or a
yeah,
dying animal, and they never follow up. I'm like, tell me what happened to it. Did it
yeah.
survive? Tell
Oh,
me.
there was one recently. Oh my god, that was like a child like goes to like sleep, falls to sleep, like goes to heaven while with her parents laying there, and like I knew like I knew I was suspicious of it, so I like skipped to the end. Nothing ever happens to the baby, and they like it wasn't anything about death. They just like recovered. It was like just a there's
Disappointing.
people on TikTok who are just like really cruel, sick people that would just want to make a buck doing that.
Yeah. Well,
I hate
maybe
it.
I don't know, maybe we'll get to something good in the end with all this stuff. I don't
Yeah,
know.
part 4.
Part four. Yeah. We'll post a video of a solution to all this.
Oh,
Yeah.
holy shit,
It
I hate it.
But to wrap it up, look, I am very positive about
Sure you are.
some, and it's very specific. But generally, I don't like it.
I think I'm hopeful because I can see some potential like good uses and stuff, and like just people need to be smart about it. That's kind of the thing that you got to take away from it. Be smart about how you use it or how you can implement it, and then
Yeah.
just consider it because it's gonna be in our future probably a lot more.
Well, yeah, that's definitely you're right. You're definitely right, and I think anyone who's just flat out saying, "Oh, look, I don't want anything to do with it," I think it's probably not the smartest idea. You have to figure it out, learn about it. Um, I mean, just for your own, you know, job security and just the future. I mean, there's no point denying that it's here. It is here. We've got it. We've got AI, so we've got to start using it. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
smiles, AI.
Weird.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
not
Well,
sad. Yeah.
I'm.
Let's end it here.
I
What do you
honestly
think?
don't even use it that much, so yeah,
Oh, that's why you have that opinion. Fuck you.
I guess so. I just don't.
Limited experience. Come on.
I mean, I use it for things like how much do I owe for fuel and how much does my girlfriend owe for fuel when we split the fuel. I drove my car drives 10 kilometers per 100, 10 liters, uses 10 liters per 100 kilometers. I paid this much for fuel. How much do we each owe for fuel? I use it
So
for
that,
math solutions,
but you got a calculator for
but
that.
I don't want to like think about all the what to divide by what thing and get the
Oh
right
my
amount,
God.
you know?
Now we're gonna lose mathematicians next because people
We've
don't want to
already lost
do.
them. I'm fine with that. I didn't want to be a
No,
mathematician. See you, math.
we, we don't give crap at anyone. Nobody matters except for the YouTubers, the
No, but
personalities.
computers for math, I think, are better. Everyone uses computers for math.
That's true. I
And
mean, look, that think about this. In school, teachers always be like, you better learn this because you won't always have a calculator on you.
Yeah,
Well,
so stupid.
fucking stupid advice.
Ah, those idiots.
Yeah,
They could, they couldn't foresee. But we never thought we would have AI, right? Now we have a
yeah.
mathematician in our pocket,
Got a
like an actual
mathematician.
mathematician in our pocket, not just a calculator, a mathematician
We've
in our
got a
pocket.
high definition camera, video. We've got a whole studio. I mean,
We have a
it's the
studio
future.
in our pocket. Just someone give me a better app to use to edit, please. YouTube, release it.
Yeah,
Thank
suggest
you.
it. If you know something, tell us because we like something
Well,
easy to
there's
use.
there's an app coming out, I know, but I want it to release already. It's taking too long. I'm sad.
All right.
Anyway,
Well,
thank you.
let's wrap it up there. Good chat.
It was a good chat. We didn't
See you
get to
guys.
any of the YouTube stuff that I wanted to, but we I like
I
we
think,
talked about the AI stuff, so that's kind of connected. I'm so
yeah.
surprised that we. Oh, I'm not surprised actually. We never talked about the stuff that we want to talk about. We just talk about. We go on one tangent and then meow, like 1 year later. Oh, should we talk about that thing we mentioned before? Like the
Well,
topic?
I think my favorite thing in life is to do a rant and then you do a rant and then I do a rant.
Yeah. Yeah, see,
Ranting
that's
all
what I
day.
want to do more for my YouTube channel. Just start ranting about shit. I feel like
Yeah.
that's what I'm good at. I'm good at complaining about things.
I mean that's the real honest truth, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I'm good at like being annoyed at something that is and like bringing it to people's attention. I should just do that on a global scale now.
See, I'm trying to do that less in life because it comes so easily to me and I don't like it about myself. I want to change that, just tweak it a little bit, a little less complaining. But yeah, no, I agree. It's easy to see all the annoying shit about life and just focus on that. But
Hmm.
let's go back to the positives. Positives. Next episode. It's just everything great about AI. It'd be like 5 minutes long.
We already covered some of that today, so
A sprinkling of
next
positivity.
next episode let's actually talk about YouTube stuff or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
getting monetized and like content creation and stuff like that. Not like, with AI, just
yeah.
just thinking about like ideas and stuff. That's one thing AI can help with, but also let's make our own. We kind of talked about that. Anyway, we're going again. So let's just end it. Thank you very much everyone for anyone who joined. We'll see you
Bye.
in potentially next week or the week after's episode. We'll see. We have a
For
lot
sure.
going on. That's why we didn't have last week's episode happening. Um,
Sorry.
and today is only an hour. Saws about that. Well, the first episode was accidentally 2 hours. So I don't know
Hmm.
if I'm sorry about that or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's it. We'll see you next time. This has been the Thoughtless podcast because we don't think about anything. Enjoy your rest of your day or life, and see ya.
See ya.
Bye bye.